Hello everyone, this is Miss Caveney from the library. I am here with another brief video tutorial. This time I'm going to give you some tips on how to search Google effectively. So we're going to walk through these. I'm going to give you some live examples. I'm not going to do any type of slideshow. You will have this tip sheet available to you from your teacher after this session. So the first thing I want to talk about and model for you is using quotation marks for multiple word phrases, best used for names, titles, and phrases of 2 or more words. In this last column are some examples. But let's go out and do some live ones right now just so you can see the power of this tip. Let's just start with something basic. Pancreatic cancer. 2 words, specific kind of cancer. Notice I have 63.5 million results. If I take the time to put quotation marks around those two words, now I have only 24 million results. All right, so anytime it's 2 or more words, for example, International Space Station, 3 words. Over 1 billion, 1.2 billion results are found. If I pause and take just a moment to use these quotation marks, now I have only 18.7 million results. All right, so anytime you're doing 2 or more words in a phrase, please take the time to put quotation marks around it and it will narrow your search significantly. All right, that's the first thing I would recommend you always do. Obviously, if it's a 1-word phrase, that doesn't matter, but 2 or more words, use the quotation marks around it. The next thing I want to talk about is using multiple search words or phrases, and this narrows your search more. Again, I've provided some examples here, but let's go back and, for example, I'm going to do internet censorship. All right, so I have 1.2 million, 1.25 million results. Now, if I add another term, say Turkey, now I'm down to 129,000, okay? Because that's looking for websites that have the phrase internet censorship and then also the word Turkey on it somewhere, all right? So the more you can focus your search with additional search terms, the better. Let's try one other example here. So I'm gonna look up something called Occam's razor. 1 phrase, 1.2 million, but I'm curious about this, the use of this in science fiction. So here I'm gonna use 2 2-word phrases, 43,000. Some books, but here I noticed, a plot twist for climate change, the power of Occam's razor. This is in Scientific American. So that's another way to use it. You can do multiple 2 multi-word phrases, and that will narrow your results as well. All right, so the more search terms you give Google, the less results you'll get. And just remember, if it's 2 or more words, put quotation marks around it. So those are the first 2 tips I want you to use. Here are some more examples over here on the right that I've done. Domestic violence, Turkey. Infant mortality in the country of Canada. Maybe you're looking for a specific ailment or illness and then the causes of or the symptoms. That's the other thing. We could go back here and look at pancreatic cancer. Oh, I forgot my quotations. Let's do that really quick. And let me do, let's look at symptoms, okay? So that's going to have less results. Notice 17.7 million, still a lot, but it's less than the 24 million for just pancreatic cancer. So definitely try to focus with multiple search terms. The next thing I'm just going to briefly show you is sometimes maybe you're not sure which term. And so you can use capital O-R, or. So for example, I'm going to do a search on manic depression. I actually have 2 family members who suffer from manic depression, but I also have heard it called bipolar disorder. So sometimes maybe you're not sure, you want to include all your results that have either phrase. And so here we go. This is searching for any results that have manic depression or bipolar disorder. And so I have 36.7 million. If I were to put and, I'm going to have much less because that's looking for websites that have both terms on them. So this is only 621,000, all right? I believe when many years ago it was called manic depression, but in modern times it's now called bipolar. So you can use or if you are unsure which term and you want results. For example, bird flu or avian flu. Maybe I'm looking for something that's related to high schools, but some websites refer to that as secondary school. So you could do secondary or high school. Let's do that one actually as another example. I'm going to do graduation rates. Okay, and then I want to do secondary or, remember high school is 2 words. Here we go. All right, so this is going to look for websites that have graduation rates and then either secondary or high school. So that's the way to use or. It's not going to be your most commonly used one, but you can use it if you're unsure which term. The next thing I'm going to talk about is searching by domain. And so I'm going to provide some examples in a moment, but that's going to refer you to see this table at the bottom. And so what I want you to pause and look at is this. So we have the type of domain, and here we have government ones are .gov, .mil, education, .edu, nonprofits, generally, .orgs, .coms or .com, and net can be business or news. But what I want to point out and make very clear is I cannot go out and purchase one of these domains. As a free citizen, I can go out and buy a domain that ends in .com, in .net, or .org. But individuals cannot purchase .gov, .mil, .edu, .ac for academic. AC stands for academic, and that's from other countries. So why does this matter? I want you to look at this. Reliability. Generally, government sites are considered to be pretty high reliability. Education, mostly high. Whereas you can see .coms, it's going to vary. There's less reliability on these, okay? But then it also addresses currency and bias, okay? So you need to pay attention. This might apply. For news, for example, it says medium bias, but I would also refer you go check out allsides.com because some news outlets are on one side, some are on the other, and some are more central. It depends on the news outlet you're looking at. But notice this, nonprofit or advocacy.orgs, again, anybody can buy them, but the bias can be high. They're usually trying to promote something, so you want to just be aware of what their bias is. So I want to show you some examples of this because you can tell Google exactly what domain you want your results from. Here are 3 examples, but I'm going to go out and we're going to do some live examples together. So, for example, let's say I want to know about enlistment statistics for the military. So enlistment statistics, I can do site:/MIL. MIL is for the United States military. I only have 4 results, okay? Then let's try Gov. 6 results. Maybe enrollment. Enlistment. Let's try it like this. Enlistment stats. Military enlistment statistics. Okay, here we go. 7.2 million, right? But if I put quotation marks around it, now I have only 1,630, but I can do site.mil, 46,000, okay? These are all going to be U.S. military sites. I can also do site.gov, 84,000. So all of my results are going to end in .gov. So these are going to be U.S. military sites. All right. Now it depends on the search term or your research topic which you want to use. Let's think of another one here. For example, maybe I want to know about, again, I'm going to use quotations, air quality. All right, so air quality, 155 million. That's a lot. So let's take a look at Turkey. I could do it this way, still 75 million. But let's say I want to look at a government site in Turkey. And if you look at my tip here, I've actually brought this up. So .gov is going to take you to the United States or America. But other countries have done gov. And then their country domain at the end. So let's try that. Site.gov.tr. Here I have 17,000 results that are about air quality in Turkey, and they're on Turkish government sites. I'm going to take out Turkey, And now I'm going to look at AU is for Australia. Here we have air quality on government sites in Australia. Okay, so depending on your topic, you can play around with these. The education one is also super useful. Remember, people cannot purchase a .edu. So maybe I'm doing research on, let's think here. I'm going to do Pasteur's quadrant. This is something I remember learning in university. Now notice, this is really low already, 39,400. But I really want my results to be from a .edu. Now I'm down to just 5,000, all right? All of these are going to be from university websites, which means they're probably, again, you still have to do a bit of the crap test and ask yourself some questions, but these are all going to be from university websites, which makes them, I believe, more reliable, and they're usually research related. Let's try another one. For example, let's do internet censorship. We did that one before. I'm not going to focus it by, but let's do site : edu. 18,000. So these are all, like this is University of Michigan, Berkeley University. So these are going to be more current and reliable sites because they're published by university and not anybody can go out and buy that. The other thing I want to point out is other countries, and you'll see this in my tips. EDU is generally for American universities. Other countries might either do AC for academic their country. So this is ac.uk, that's academic in the UK. This is academic for China. Or for like Turkey or Australia have edu their country. So let's take a look at some different options here. Let's do ac.uk. So I have 3,900 articles that are on internet censorship that are from academic sites in the UK. Okay, but I can also do China. 128 results. These are all from academic sites in China. Now, if I wanted to do edu.tr, here are some results. Bill Kent University. So these are going to be academic results, are published on university websites in Turkey on the topic of internet censorship. All right, I could do edu. What was the other example here? And sometimes you have to play around if you're looking for a particular country. AU is Australia. Let's see what we have for Australia. Over 1,000. All right. So some different options there. You may have to play around to see, like I played around to see which one. So, but tryit.edu is going to be America, but it's either going to be .ac.government or country domain or edu.country domain. And you can find a list of country domains easily by just Googling that term, and you can find it on here, Internet Country Domains list. So you may have to play around and see if it's AC for academic or EDU for educational, but probably one or the other you will find. And I think it's really important to use the domain. For example, I know if I was going to be doing something on, say, breast cancer, I definitely would want to focus on some organizations, site:/org. All right. So please notice when you're using this, you're typing SITE : and then org, edu, mil, gov. There's no period or no space there. So pay attention because you're coding. Anytime you type into this box, you are coding into Google. I'm going to do actually or edu, and I'm going to have more. So I have more results here. All right. So this is breast cancer with either sites that end in .org or sites that end in .edu. All right. So I've taken you through quotation marks, multiple phrases, using or when necessary, and then telling Google which domain you do want your results from. Here are some more examples that I have on the right. The last thing I'm going to show you is about searching Google News. And this is going to be helpful, especially if your topic is timely or in current events. So, for example, I'm going to do internet censorship again. But what I want you to pay attention to is up here at the top. You're all very used to using images and videos, but click on News. Then I want you to pay attention to this Tools function here, and you can narrow it. Like, I only want to know what happened in the last month on internet censorship. And so here we have 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So nothing. Here's one 21 hours ago, 5 days ago, 12 hours ago. All right. So you can narrow. This is really useful when you're looking at current events. For example, let's look at race bias. This is a hot topic. So here's my search. It's a 2-word term. Let's go to news. And I'm going to do tools, and I'm going to do the past week. And here we go. 8 hours ago, 2 days ago, 8 hours ago, 11 hours ago. So I have some topics that are in the news right now. All right. So you can also use Google's news features. For example, I'm going to look up one more. Let's look up. Let me think here. Internet censorship and social media laws. Again, I didn't use quote. Let's do quote. Much less. Let's do news. Okay. 1 day ago, 1 month ago, 2 weeks ago. So that's another option you can use, especially if you're looking for current events. Please think about, like, for example, you can talk about global warming. This is going to be interesting for you. I want to do tools, and I want to find out. You can even do a custom range. Maybe you want to know what was on the internet from specific years. These are going to be results from specific years. So maybe you want to look for a specific event like an earthquake or a hurricane, and you want to find just the news from the days or weeks directly after it. You can tell Google specifically what date you want with a custom range. All right, I think that's enough for now. That should get you started with your research. So just remember to use quotation marks, multiple search words or phrases to narrow your focus, using or when necessary, targeting your domain. If you're looking at something that's about the military or the government, use those. If you're looking for scholarly information from universities that are doing research on your topic or have written scholarly publications or journals, you can use education. Maybe you're studying something that has nonprofit research organizations working for it. For example, up here I have the National Organization of Women. I'm sure they have their own website. I can target it that way too. So take a look at this and just be aware of these parts of how we evaluate domains. I hope that's been useful for you to search Google effectively. If you have any questions, of course, you know where to find me, and your teachers can reach out anytime. Thanks so much, and good luck with your research.